everybody, this is Courtney and here's my little friend. Now we are gearing up for a holiday havocathon, you know, where we're looking at books that showcase all the crazy messiness of the holiday season, and I am so here for it. So while I'm preparing for that, I'm looking at all of these different books and realize that overwhelmingly I find a bunch of romance reads. Now I love a good romance, don't get me wrong, but it started me thinking, why does everybody have to be booed up for the holidays? I mean, there's a lot of people that are single and content on being single, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. In my former life, I was an accountant or a statistician, so I decided to look up some relationship statistics. So this is what this video is about. Statistics on different relationshipal, is that a term? Anyway, relationshipal things, and I'm going to relate them to a few books. Now, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to go into any depth about these books. I'm just going to show you some books I've read that relate to some of these statistics. And I have also gotten the information that I'm going to give you. It's 2022 relationship statistics via EarthWeb, and this is as of October of 2022. Now, I'm in no way an expert at all. If anything, I am an expert at Dr. Google. So I didn't make these things up. I just found it on this site that did all the little research for me, okay? Now, everything is about perspective. So let's see what you think about your relationship and how you relate to these statistics. Now, the first statistic says that 24% of college seniors are virgin. Now, I think that's pretty interesting, especially with all these hookup, doomy apps out there. So I think there's nothing wrong with people deciding to save themselves for whatever reason that they are doing so. Now, keep in mind, this is what they said for this particular survey. I also think it's interesting that I read all of these books and the girl just happens to be this person that's untouched, even though she's 30. So definitely interesting up there compared to the books. Now we're going to talk about millennials here, okay? Like millennials, which is, I had to look this up, okay? Because I am not woke to the millennial, Gen Z, all that craziness, okay? This relates to millennials, which is 24 to 41 age range, okay? Now this says 29% of millennials say they aren't ready financially for marriage. So I think it's a good thing when people decide that they aren't going to get married because they aren't ready for that responsibility of taking care of a household, taking care of a wife, taking care of a husband and kids. Nothing wrong with that, which I think is really interesting because I feel like overwhelmingly most of the books that I read, the man just happens to be this billionaire and he's like 24 years old. It's like, where are you getting your money from, dude? Is it really that lucrative? That's all those Kindle Unlimited books, y'all. The Baby Daddy Millionaire, the Billionaires Club. Come on, y'all. Where are these people at in life? I want to go find that guy, okay? Now, 72% of millennials believe in staying single until meeting the one. Yet, they say a lot of the millennials claim that they experience loneliness. Now, keep in mind, you can be in a room full of people or even in a relationship and still feel lonely. So, I definitely understand that statistic out there. Also, I was interested in knowing what is the one and the one for what, okay? Because in this day and age, I meet a lot of people. The one could mean financially stable. I'm waiting for somebody I fall madly in love with. I want to feel the spark. I want to know somebody that'll be a good dad to the kid. Does that person have good hair? Is their teeth good? Do they have a good job? So the one can definitely be very subjective. Now, you have 40% of millennials say that they aren't going to settle for just anyone to be in a relationship. And people are a lot more pickier these days. I definitely think that that's good. I think that there's so many different options out there. I also feel that, at least in the people that I meet, especially younger people, they're pickier about who they're going to be in a relationship with. But when it comes to other things, I don't see as much selectivity. Now, that's just my experience from the young people that I am around. So all I say is watch yourself. Now, also in this statistic, it's saying that people are getting married at a much older age. Now, as someone that was older when I got married, I completely agree. Take your time, make sure you find somebody that's worth the time when you're going to commit, especially when you put that big M word, that looked like a W, right? Anyway, M word in the mix, okay? 60% of long distance relationship last the distance. Now, I think that is definitely higher than I expected it to be. I think that a lot of people don't have the mindset when it comes to long distance relationships, especially when they're younger. I think when people are older, you have a different mindset. You've had other life experiences that you carry into that long distance relationship, and maybe even a little bit more self-confidence to allow that relationship to flourish even though you're not in each other's presence. And I think that definitely makes a difference in whether or not the relationship succeeds. It's definitely a commitment and a challenge, and you have to be up for that. Now, when it comes to long distance relationships as well, it says the average long distance couple sends 343 text messages a week. Like, what else are you doing? That's a lot of text messages. I would be interested to know if you're in a long distance relationship and that is the number, or even higher, even if we're close to the number of text messages that you send. So send me a comment if that's you. Let me know, what else are you doing? Is that a full-time job? Like, what is that? 81% of long distance couples feel a higher level of intimacy because they haven't seen each other in a while. It says 70% of individuals claim that they talk to their partner more when they were apart from them. You know what? There's a lot of couples that stay in the same home or right near each other and don't speak a lot. So you only have your words when you're at long distance, or, send a little picture, little selfie up in that mix. So I felt to a certain extent when I was doing my long distance that at times it was almost like a relief to have some distance away from my partner. That was just me time, So I think it depends on your mindset and what's going on. Okay, so long distance couples tend to talk to each other at least once every 3 days. That seems kind of scarce. I was like every day, but it depends on what's going on. And a lot of couples still write letters to one another, typically 3 times a month. Oh, I don't know. I can't say I was sending any letters or whatnot, but you know what? I'm all about that text message and that email. Just keep the communication going. That's all you need to do when it comes to long distance relationships. Interracial relationships. Here we go, y'all. 11 million Americans are married to someone who is of a different ethnicity. Well, we're a big melting pot in the U.S. Some more melted than others. So you're bound to run into a cutie patootie that is not of your same ethnicity. And I think, they say opposites attract. I think that when you can have people of different racial makeups, especially when it's so drastic as maybe brown versus, another type of ethnicity, I think that it definitely breaks down those barriers and those stereotypes that I think a lot of people still hold today. And I think that that's beautiful that people can get along. So that's just my take. It says interracial marriage became legal in 1967. Dang, 1967? That's not too long ago. 39% of Americans support interracial marriages. Hey, you know what? You do you. Let the haters hate. To me, if somebody's not paying your bills and they're not in your household, then you know what? Kick rocks. I don't need to know your opinion if you don't support what I'm doing, and that's relationships or otherwise. So now we're talking about age gaps. There's a lot of books on age gap, that's for sure. 8% of married straight couples have an age gap of 10 years. Whew. And only 1% of age gap relationships is where the woman is older than the man. Look at Hollywood. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, and that Amber Heard lady. Okay, you always have these men with these women, that's for sure. Jason Momoa, yummy Jason Momoa, and the lovely Lisa Bonet. She got her one of them young ones, okay? So nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm always about you do you. See, 25% of male-male unions have a big age gap. So more gay couples have the larger age gap than heterosexual couples. If you're of that community, let me know why. Let's see. Couples that have a 20-year age gap are 95% more likely to not work out. That's not surprising. I think when you have such a huge age gap, that commonality of experiences just kind of gets lost in the weeds. So that doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of the daddy series, you know what I'm talking about, if you're on Kindle Unlimited, that portray these age gap relationships, by the way. Having a large age gap can affect things like different values, different tastes in music, different reference points when it comes to culture, and different approaches to sex. But that does not mean that relationships won't work out. There's definitely some that stand the test of time. So you do you. Now this says that 20% of men, that's 1 in 5, and 13% of women, that's 1 in 10, cheat on their spouse. Now I will say that if someone's going to cheat, there's nothing that you can do to stop them from cheating. They're going to do it. So in that case, let them go. Nobody wants a cheater unless, you know, you're okay with that, okay? But you know, it's unfortunately is one of those parts of life that we have to deal with, that some people do that and some people don't. So it's up to you whether or not you're going to put up with that. Now, this does say that between the ages of 18 and 29, women are more likely to be the cheater. And in books and in TV, I do normally see the men. So, you know what? It shows that that shoe can definitely be on the other foot and no one is immune. However, in this day and age, it says the behavior is more likely to be online these days. So I don't condone cheating by any means, but I'm gonna say that a lot of people probably get caught because they don't clear their search history, okay? Just keep that in mind if you're one of those folks. Close them windows. Now, 70% of women between the age of 20 and 24 experience partner violence. Now, I will say that there are a lot of resources out there, and if you are experiencing violence in your relationship, please don't stand for that. That's definitely not something that I condone in any fashion. I think that these days with social media, people tend to look at a picture and always throw out that whole idea of the perfect couple. Now, I definitely don't believe that that is a concept, that there is the perfect couple out there. Keep in mind, social media and pictures is a small snapshot of someone's relationship. So definitely don't make judgments. Life is not all about roses. Let's see. Ooh, breakups. Here we go. So it says 40% of marriages end in divorce. See, I've been told in my life that it's over 50%. So 40%, I mean, that's better than over 50, but it's really sad when you've committed your life to someone and it doesn't work out. But that's the nature of life. Some things work out, some don't. However, this does say, though, that it's even higher in people that are not married yet. And that is definitely to be believable. I will say that you have a lot of relationships that don't work out before you even get to the marriage stage. And it's probably better, though, with many relationships that you don't get to that marriage stage and that it doesn't work out prior to. So, you know, sometimes you got to kiss a lot of toads and kiss some frogs. You know what? That's better than putting a ring on it, right? 64% of Americans claim they're very happy in their relationship, and 50% claim that they're satisfied with their sex life. Now, that is definitely subjective, but you know what? You do you. Just make sure you're honest with yourself about what's going on. And my last statistic for the 2022 relationship statistics, according to EarthWeb, is the average number of relationships that people have. Now, that number is 7 for women and 8 for men. Now, I definitely expected that number to be higher. However, you have to take into account age And you have to take into account what defines a relationship. And that is definitely different for everyone. As far as with me, I will say that for whatever you determine a relationship to be, make sure it's on a strong foundation if you expect it to work. Now, I will say that the longest relationships I've ever had in my life has been with my books, and I thoroughly enjoy them. They keep me comforted. They are consistent. You know, they're here when I want them to be. Except when the library gives me a call and say, hey, return them. But I am very, very confident and very much in love with that relationship. And that will be one that I will keep for the rest of my life. So please like, subscribe, and comment. And let me know how you stack up with these statistics. I would be very happy to know. Bye, y'all.